podcast is part of the Pod Syndicate family. For more criminally compelling shows, articles, and conversations, head to wearepodsyndicate.com.
Welcome to this week's Film Masters.
Good afternoon, good morning, good evening, and welcome people to episode 394 of Film Bastards. I am one of your co-hosts, Mark Foster, and as ever, I am joined by...
Becky Foster, hello everyone.
And...
Somebody buy me one of these new colourful Macs.
And what do we have for you this week? Well, we have reviews, is what we have. We have two. We were going to do some reviews. Some of us watched some films and some of us didn't. And we forgot to kind of make a note of who was watching what. So we have a review of that we've all watched The Father.
Yes.
Which I think could be quite fun. This review. We have a review of Love and Monsters, which I always think could be quite fun. And then we'll have some what we've been watching, some trailers. I didn't get a chance to get to the United States versus Billie Holiday, and I wanted to, but I just didn't get a chance to, unfortunately, because my shop reopened and I had to be there a lot to comfort it.
Bloody work, eh?
To comfort it.
Get in the way.
And with questions and the other random bits that we will always get to. I'm going to choose this moment right now to say that we are a Pod Syndicate podcast. Other Pod Syndicate podcasts out there that you can enjoy include Rewatch Project, Train Focus Punter, His Film, Her Movie, The Iron Sequel, Entertainment Landfill, and I'm probably missing some somewhere. All the bonus shows. You're going to get a bonus show of myself, Ian, and Jord talking the shitstorm that is the European Super League.
Talking angrily or talking sensibly?
Becky, so I discussed it. I want to say at you last night.
You discussed it at her.
Yeah. So
that's a line.
What do you think is going to happen with that?
I don't know really.
I am literally the human definition of somewhere between old man yells at cloud and that Charlie Day gif when I start talking about this.
Yeah, probably close to the Charlie Day gif though.
Yeah.
Carragher and what's his face, the other one, were more
Neville.
old man shout at cloud.
Yeah,
Everyone agrees with us on this. Well, maybe not everyone, guys. Everyone agrees with us on this.
It's like everybody in that room agrees with you.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, there are shades of grey, which I will get to on Thursday.
It's going to be a stonker.
What?
The show?
Sure, it is.
Yeah.
It is. It is.
I might even give it a listen. It always amuses me hearing you talk about football.
It literally will be at some point. I think Ian and George going, Mark, it is 4 a.m.
Well, we'll see. Well, I don't. Sorry.
Go on.
I mean, we'll. I don't know. We'll see what happens in the next couple of days, though.
Yep.
You know,
there are cracks forming.
The only people who seem to want this are those 12 club owners, and a few of them seem a little bit, well, fucking hell, we only joined because you lot said we were all definitely doing it. Jesus.
There is a little bit of a few of them waking up this morning, and I'm going, nah. Oh, right. Better just open the emails and go on, and there's been an email from all of them, or in the WhatsApp, and gone, have you seen this Florentino Perez interview? And they've looked at it and gone, oh.
Wow, what's he said?
Whoa. It's more what hasn't he said.
Okay.
It literally is like, I saw someone describe it today as like, the Chatty Cathy doll. Like somebody has put batteries in that, pushed him out, and then he's just talked until his batteries run out. But just word vomit. Just absolute word vomit.
Okay.
So if you want to hear our version of what will be just slightly sweet-smelling word vomit, then that'll be on the Pod Syndicate bonus feed. But Ian, what's happened in the wonderful world of movies this week?
Scott Rudin's announced that he's fucking off out of the movie game, at least for now. So he's another producer who is being cancelled. Looks more like because he's a really, really bad boss as opposed to anything sexual. Like very aggro. So there's that. Cannes has announced a few projects. Features will be playing. Annette, which also had a trailer that we'll talk about in a bit, will be opening it. The French Dispatch, Wes Anderson's film, and Paul Verhoeven's Benedetta are also going to be playing Cannes. So that's interesting. Also, Denzel Washington has a new directorial film which will be released at the end of the year, A Journal for Jordan, starring Michael B. Jordan. Drama follows First Sergeant Charles Monroe King, played by Jordan, who, before he is killed in action in Baghdad, authors a journal for his son intended to tell him how to live a decent life despite growing up without a father. So I think we could probably say Oscar-nominated director Denzel Washington next year.
Yeah.
By the sounds of it, quite frankly.
Is that his third? Will that be his third,
third film? Yeah, so what would that be then? Fences.
Finding Forrester, was it?
Finding. No, wasn't that Gus Van Sant?
It might have been, yeah. There was another one, wasn't there? He did another one before. Director. Fences. Antoine Fisher, that's the one I'm thinking of.
That's him.
And The Great Debaters.
Yeah, so I mean, he's had a few goes at bat, but
one episode of Grey's Anatomy.
Really?
Yeah. That's odd.
But yeah, Michael B. Jordan, Denzel Washington, that kind of award season journey kind of writes itself, quite frankly. So yeah, we shall see what happens there. And yeah, I mean, I suppose that's probably about it, really. It's the Oscars on Sunday, so I think everybody's just gearing up for that.
Oh yeah.
Oh, the what?
Is it Helen McCrory?
Yeah.
Obviously passed away.
Oh shit. Yeah. Sorry, Bex, go on.
No, I was just saying it's just really fucking sad. It's what an age, and it's just awful. Was it known that she was?
I think it was known but not publicised.
Yeah.
Like
she got people to keep it to themselves. Like people knew, but not publicly.
It was one of those. They didn't announce it or anything like that, but they weren't. It wasn't something that was being hidden. But I think because both her and Damian Lewis are very much liked people within the industry and within the media, I think it was very much said with the media, could you please not? We've got kids.
Yeah.
And I think that the media kind of went, well,
yeah, fair enough.
All right, yeah, we will on this one.
I was trying to think.
I think there was a little. I think there was a little bit of, look, we'd like to keep this secret. We'd like to keep this private. We don't want to sue, but we might. There's a little bit of that.
Yeah, I was trying to work out, because when you recognise someone for a number of different things, and you're like, yeah, I recognise them from that, but it's not that I'm thinking of, and I recognise them from that, it's not that I'm thinking of. What is like the iconic image that comes into my head when I think of Helen McCrory is not Narcissa Malfoy, it's not any of the other sort of roles that she's done that people are like, oh, she was this and this and this. And I worked it out. I pored over her IMDb the other day to try and work it out, and she's in an episode of Doctor Who called Vampires in Venice, I think it is, and she's fucking magnificent as like the queen vampire thing, and it's just an absolutely fantastic performance, and that's what I recognise her from. Is the image that comes into my head when I see her face is in the costume from that.
Well, I interviewed her about a decade ago, one of the few people that I've interviewed, and one of the first kind of like person of any note that I interviewed, and it was to do with a film called Flying Blind, that got hardly even a release.
Yeah.
And it's actually quite a good film. And I literally told her within like the first, what is it, that this was like the first interview I'd done. And that I was quite nervous and didn't really know what to say. And she was absolutely lovely. Like really like, oh, well, I'm going to be real. She was just taking the piss. Just going, oh, well, I really don't like interviews. So whatever questions you got, I'll probably not answer anyway. But like in a very jokey and very lovely manner. But yeah, so yeah. Any other news? Vin Diesel's going to be in a Rock'em Sock'em Robots movie.
That statement he put out.
Yep.
About how he's really excited to combine Rock'em Sock'em Robots with the world building that he and his partners at Universal have been doing.
Yeah.
Unless Vin Diesel is playing a Rock'em Sock'em Robot, I'm very, very not interested.
What I want at some point is I want a Vin Diesel movie that he has written, he is directing, and he is recording the score for. I want it just to be called Vin. And I don't care what it's about, but I hope it's something mad.
If the entire score is him just doing that Feel Like I Do song that he did, like on a loop throughout the entire film, then okay, I'm back.
I want that, but I want there to be a death metal version, a reggae version, a dubstep version, a crooner version. I just want loads of different versions of that song. And we know that you listen, Uncle Vin. So can you make it happen, please?
Yeah, I mean, Uncle Vin, I'm very sorry, mate. I mean, to be fair, I am maybe the world's biggest fan of Triple X Return of Xander Cage. So, let's, let be nice. But I don't know. In all seriousness, I'm worried that he's gonna spunk his fast goodwill up the wall with stuff like that. It's And I don't know. There's a little bit of pretender syndrome as well, where he's looked at what Dwayne Johnson does, and it's like, I want a little bit of that. Like, I'm convinced that Uncle Vin is gonna be associated with some sort of alcohol at some point, and is gonna like do Instagram posts about how he's been working with the team on cracking the Rock'em Sock'em Robot script, and now he's gonna have a nice cool glass of Uncle Vin. Yeah, because if you drink Uncle Vin, you're family.
So so what is it? Ryan Reynolds has got gin,
aviation. Yeah.
What's it has got? The Rock's got his tequila brand.
Termal.
Yep. It's the one.
I mean, Dan Aykroyd's also got a tequila brand as well.
I'd drink that. I like tequila.
So what would Uncle Vin do? What would he have?
Vodka.
I don't think it'd be vodka.
Really, really tacky vodka with Goldschlager.
No, I think it would be some form of Caribbean rum.
Wouldn't it be just Corona, like his own special version of Corona?
They'll just rename Corona Vin.
Vin. And the bottle,
I think that would be a good PR stunt.
The bottles will be in the shape of Vin Diesel.
So like the Jean-Paul Gaultier bottle.
Yeah, just Vin Diesel.
Nice.
Yeah, and you just twist off his head. Not his entire head, just the top of his head, like Ray Liotta in Hannibal. And then you just drink it.
No, could it not be a hat?
No. Oh!
You twist off the hat?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's better. That's less grim than taking off the top of his skull.
Yeah, that's a fair point, yeah. Just twist it off. Cool bottle of Vin. Yeah, I'm down with that. There you go.
There you go, Vin.
Yeah. We've solved all your marketing problems there, Corona.
Poor Corona.
Yeah. Trailers.
I haven't seen any.
There've been some.
I think I've only got a couple.
Yeah.
So the can opener the film that's opening can. That's pretty good.
Bex, why you got the giggles? Can you get me a drink?
That's funny. Yeah, the film that's opening Cannes, Leos Carax's new film, first one from him since Holy Motors, which feels like it was a long time ago.
Oh God, yeah, that will be.
Yeah. So this is, yeah, maybe. I think it's his first one anyway. So this is Annette, which is a musical starring Adam Driver and Marion Cotillard with the songs done by Sparks. Yeah, looks good. What can I say? I'm looking forward to it. Little bit. I mean, I think maybe this is a bit of a trend of cinema at the moment, but I'm a little bit worried about the memification of a lot of, or like the kind of like the general taking images from these things and almost the marketing being around them. But I'm already seeing an awful lot of Adam Driver first, which I suppose is fair enough. But yeah, I don't know, just kind of like the reducing films to memes.
Yeah, 2-3 second.
Yeah. I don't know. It's interesting with the football stuff. Was it Perez who said something about like, oh, maybe football matches need to be shorter because kids have got lesser attention span.
Kids coming through have got less attention span because they play football games and they get bored of matches, so maybe they need to be shorter.
It's not that, it's bloody TikTok. TikTok ruined them. It's just my 2 cents worth.
Fair play.
Stupid children. And their tickety talk.
all right. All the money yells at Cloud.
Man. Yeah. I mean, that's a whole other discussion, isn't it? But I don't know. It's weird. Like Lottie can concentrate for hours on end on Minecraft, but cannot sit and watch a film. Just can't do it. It'll be interesting when cinemas open to see if that changes. But I think it's that whole kind of like actually interacting with it thing. But yeah, I don't know. It's fascinating. But I also with the football thing, I would just say, yeah, you've also got generations of kids who haven't been able to watch a lot of football because if they don't have Sky or they don't have BT Sport, what do they have? The FA Cup. You know what I mean? Like what internationals every now and then. That's about it. It's like you take away the access to the fucking sport, and then what replaces that? Kids playing FIFA. I suppose they are naturally going to be more engaged with the thing that they have actually grown up with. I mean, like when did the champion? Sorry, go on.
There's an oddness in the sense that you only had a brief. It's now easier to watch football than it ever has been, and there is more access to football than there ever has been. But like you're saying, there's a weirdness in the sense that right now there is less available terrestrially than there ever has been, which is the weirdness of it all, in the sense of if you go back 30 years, then you were just at the end of the terrestrial TV of football, and I just about remember that. But it was one, possibly 2 games a week. And that's the weirdness of it all. But now, like you say, there is literally the FA Cup and international football. And only because international football legally has to be available terrestrially. They can't not have it. If it wasn't due to FIFA's misworded mandate, then you can guarantee that the World Cup and Euros and things like that would all not be available terrestrially.
Yeah. It's Anyway, we'll move on because we're gonna talk about this later in the week. But yeah, God, when did the Champions League finish on terrestrial TV? That feels like it was probably a decade ago at this point.
Yeah, it was getting on for 10 years.
Yeah, because it was Sky for a bit, wasn't it? And then BT Sport got the rights.
It was Sky on ITV.
Okay.
And then it changed to being to essentially at that point it had to be available on terrestrial TV. And then you're talking about the collapse of Santana kind of switched it because it became when they collapsed that it became available and BBC just couldn't afford to gobble it up, so UEFA just let somebody else gobble it up and just kind of binned that rule.
Yeah. Oh man. Anyway, right. I think I've only got one other. So, Mark, if you want to go, if you've got any.
I've got one other. A film called The Dry, an Australian film starring Eric Bana. It looks like it could be quite interesting. It seems to be from the trailer. It's a guy who has moved away from his hometown and has had to go back for a reason, and then gets embroiled in the reason why he left, which was the reason why he went back. And the reason why he left was that there was a murder involved, and it seems like he's implicated in it in some way, and then he's left to become a cop elsewhere, and then he's gone back and ends up having to investigate this new murder, but unofficially. It looks like it could be quite interesting, but also never before has a title been more apt. It looks very dry. Very dry.
Called Dry.
Yes. But yeah,
it's awful fucking title for a film. Sorry, like
yeah, it's got strong Thursday night Netflix watch vibes.
Sure.
No, sorry, not Netflix watch, Amazon Prime watch vibes.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Okay. It's a lower class.
Yeah, it's that. It's not going to be. It's not going to be shiny. It's going to be a bit matte.
Okay, got it.
Then we've got we've got the biggie, haven't we? The least fucking the least sort of pizzazz biggie trailer of in a long time.
It was fucking weird how this came out, because a poster for Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings came out. I saw a couple of people.
Poster that was designed by one of those people who sell knockoff DVDs.
Yeah, I mean, it's, a couple of people were like, yep, here for it, and I get it. It's huge that it's like it's an Asian lead in a Marvel film. Honestly, that's great. That poster is fucking awful.
Thing is, I've said it a lot about Shang-Chi. A Marvel martial arts movie, fuck it, yes, absolutely here for it.
Yep.
Really looking forward to it until I saw the poster from the trailer.
I thought the trailer was all right.
Would you right? If
yes.
you'd watched that trailer, not knowing it was the trailer for Shang-Chi, and then it didn't have the Marvel logo in it, and then it was called something else, would you have any idea that this was connected to the Marvel universe?
No, but
a lot of people, if it didn't have those things, would not give a shit. They'd just be looking at it as a generic film, because it looks generic.
I think that there are a couple of shots. God, it sounds like I'm damning with faint praise here. There's a couple of shots that are nice and wide and people like hitting each other and whatnot, which is cool. That one shot of the fucking water or whatever, and then like it freezes, it's the droplets. Yes, please. I think we need to see more of the lead guy.
Yeah.
shot where he's on the bus and she's like, "Who are you?" And then it's just him in a fucking very generic shirt and jacket doing a generic "I'm ready for a fight" pose. Nah. Awkwafina had an awful lot more character than he did in that trailer.
The thing is, the real presence, the premise of this movie, I am really, really looking forward to. I sat and I watched the trailer and was like, right, go on. I want like a fucking, I want a badass martial arts fun movie. And then I was watching it going, this feels so low energy and formulaic as a trailer. And do you know what? The film might not be. It might just be first trailer syndrome.
Yeah.
And I really hope it is. And I suspect it probably will be. But if it's not, this feels a little bit like literally Marvel have just gone, we've run out of spark.
I mean, it'll be interesting. The word on Eternals is Chloe Zhao shot a lot of stuff on location, was doing some like magic hour shit. And have you guys seen Nomadland yet?
No, still not. We will have watched it before Sunday.
Okay. And what she does with like locations and natural light in that film, apparently there's a surprising amount of that kind of shit in Eternals. And I kind of wonder whether Eternals may end up eating Black Widow and Shang-Chi's lunch. But this year was always a bit of a breather. Yeah, well, what would have been last year, it was always like a breather year for Marvel anyway. And hey, we've got Spider-Man 3 in December, which is going to be mental.
What I don't want out of Shang-Chi is a movie that I am watching and I'm watching it going, right, so you've made a movie to release in the Asian market to just make $1 billion by the sheer fact that you've released it. Brilliant. Thanks. You know, just be. I'm really hoping that this is just a bad trailer. I think the trailer is dull as fuck. Because I want this Marvel movie. It's one of the only Marvel movies for a while that I've been really genuinely excited about.
Yeah, the next couple of years I think are going to be really fucking interesting for Marvel. Like, were you saying a couple of weeks back, Mark, that it kind of feels like, you know, with Endgame being 2 years ago now, and with there being such a break, that it's almost like the spell's maybe worn off a little bit.
Yeah.
And I wonder if there is a sense of that, but you never know though, dude. I mean, like, Black Widow may secretly be a banger, Shang-Chi may be great, and I've got a really good feeling about Eternals. So who knows? But yeah, I get it.
I genuinely hope they are, because no matter what you say or anything like that about the fact that it's the Disney fucking churn machine or anything like that, I do think the Marvel films have largely been a force for good. You know, people have really enjoyed them. It's kickstarted careers for people. It's rejuvenated careers for people. It gave young black kids a fucking superhero to look at and go, fuck. There you fucking go. It gave them a fucking.
It's enough. It's enough. Just sorry. You know, for the bad that Marvel has done, it gave us Black Panther, which is probably one of the most important films of this century. It sounds like hyperbole, but you think about it. African superhero film grosses all the fucking money in the world, inspires just so many people.
But what you wanted from Shang-Chi was that to do the same thing for young Asian kids.
Yeah, quite.
And it seems a little. My issue with the it's grading this off fucking less than 2 minutes of fucking footage, so I'm being a little bit of a dick now, but I'm trying to not. But it just seems a little bit like when you compare what Black Panther, and I'm not a big fan of the Black Panther movie. I'll freely admit that, but it just seems like what that did, and the scope and the scale and the idea and the vibrancy and the verve that film had. This just seems very meh.
Like you say, though, it could just be.
It could just be first trailer syndrome. Yeah. You know, there's plenty of films that have had great first trailers and been an absolute fucking monkey shit.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's that. Anyone, any more on trailers?
I haven't even
No,
seen
I've
the
just
ones you've
fucking
mentioned.
brought the fucking energy right down.
As you all want to do.
Let's bring it back up.
I mean, you should probably start with the other film then if you want to do that.
No.
Okay, let's talk dementia.
Let's do that. Let's bring it back up. Let's bring the good times back. Woo!
Also, sorry, at this point, just to say, I've stopped using other music and clips and whatnot in the show. If anybody has any feedback on that, I am very, very up for hearing it. But it takes fucking ages, and if we ever wanted to put this show on YouTube, we'd be fucking copyright striked so fast it would make our heads spin.
Mm-hmm.
So just to say, going forward, no music or trailer clips in the show. If anyone is unhappy, sorry.
Just you singing then.
I mean, I'll do a clip from the father. Hello there. Hello. I'm Anthony, and I can't remember who I am, and who are you? And
is that your Welsh, Ian?
Hello.
Where do you live?
I live in Wales.
I thought that's quite a good Hopkins.
Thank you. Yeah. I used to be a tap dancer, don't you know? Yes.
That was really good,
That's
actually.
a fucking really good Hopkins.
That one was really,
really?
really good. Do that again. Do the tap dancer bit again. Dance monkey.
I used to be a tap dancer. Yes.
What I will say now is, because we might have new listeners. We occasionally might get new listeners, and I don't think we say it. I think we say it, but we often say it after the fact. We are all spoilers all the time. So we are aware that The Father is a very new movie. But we are all spoilers all the time.
Spoiler alert. He doesn't. He turns out he's not a tap dancer.
No, he's not. Nah, he's not. He's a lying piece of fucking shit.
Spoiler alert. Turns out they're actually all just fucking with him and moving stuff around. That's what you really hoped for.
Let's get into that. We'll get that later. Co-written and directed by playwright Florian Zeller, and stars Anthony Hopkins, Olivia Colman, Mark Gatiss, Imogen Poots. Always nice to see Poots. Olivia Williams, and not Olivia Wilde, Becky.
No, not Olivia Cockburn.
And Rufus Sewell.
I like seeing Rufus Sewell.
What is it the story of? Let me do my thing that I'm doing from now on, which is stealing it from I Am of the DBs.
It's not very imaginative.
I don't give a shit. A man refuses all assistance from his daughter as he ages. He tries to make sense of his changing circumstances. He begins to doubt his loved ones, his own mind, and even the fabric of reality. I like the fact that IMDb manages to concise films down into things often that have nothing to do with the film. Excuse me. Ian. The Father. Remember, we're all spoilers all the time. When Olivia Colman turned into Olivia Williams, right? Did you do the whole Leonardo DiCaprio pointing meme?
I was doing that quite a lot during this film, I won't lie.
Mark did a full Scooby-Doo. Oh?
Yeah, I kind of did, didn't I?
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, Ian, the father.
Yeah.
Go.
I thought it was pretty incredible, in all honesty. It really knocked me for six. And you know, people have been saying on these like Oscar podcasts to listen to and whatnot, people are almost like, the father, does that film actually exist? And on the sounds of it, like Anthony Hopkins, Olivia Colman drama about dementia, like, they're saying like it sounds like an Oscar film, but it's actually a lot more interesting than that. And I think it was. I found it incredibly jarring and discombobulating, but obviously that's what it was supposed to do. And for a film which is like 95% of the film, if not more, is set in one location, but like various rooms of one location, the way it upends like where you think you are, who you think the character's talking to, what is actually going on, I thought was really quite striking. And I think it's telling that the director of this film was also the person who like wrote the play it was based on, because yeah, it feels lived in, it feels studied, it feels like this person just knows the material in and out. And yeah, I found it profoundly upsetting. I teared up at several moments. And even the more showy moments, I mean, like particularly like the end of the film, when I think about, well, what perspective is this actually taking? It kind of just clicks into place for me. I'm really interested to see to hear what you guys thought, but I thought Hopkins was good. I thought Coleman was better, and if she hadn't won Best Actress a couple years back, she'd be fucking running away with supporting actress this year.
She's better in this.
Running away. Sorry?
She's better in this than she is in what she won for.
The favourite.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think totally fair to say. Like the fucking heartbreak that is going on with that character. And Olivia Colman does so much with just her face, and not like over-egging it. Just the fucking sadness that woman can
Portray,
bring.
yeah.
It is something. I thought it was cracking. I thought it was really fucking good film.
Just quickly on Olivia Colman, for somebody who essentially made her, got her place, I would say, in comedy. The shift that she's made into more, and I like the fact that she still does comedy, but the fact that when she started doing dramatic roles, it was like it was a completely new actress. It was staggering, and she's one of those where she's never not been fantastic in anything she's been in.
Yeah,
Olivia Colman is always brilliant in everything she does, be it comedy or drama. Becky, the subject of dementia often is a fear of yours, isn't it? A little bit.
What are you fucking saying?
So this movie was already going to hit you. Did it hit you in the right place, or was it a complete fucking? Did it punch you in the ear rather than the face?
Do you know what? I very much went into it thinking, even if this is good, it's gonna be a thanks, I hate it. But I think it's handled so well that you can't really hate it, because you have empathy for the characters. Like there's none of them are dickheads. Who's a dickhead?
Hopkins says some fucking
Hopkins
hard shit.
Yeah.
Okay, but that's not Hopkins. That's not him from pre-dementia. That's his condition.
No, I still think he's a prick for that.
That's just because you don't like Anthony Hopkins.
And there's obviously some unsaid shit that like he says at one point he preferred his other daughter.
He says that on a number of different points. His favourite daughter, Lucy. I both like and hate that it plays out for the majority of the film's runtime as essentially a horror movie. It's got that same tension and edge of your seat and shit, what's going to happen next vibe of a horror movie. And dementia is one of those things that it absolutely fucking terrifies me. Like, imagine living your entire life and then just not being you anymore, just completely losing yourself. It must be so scary, and it must be awful for the people around you. It did kind of push my buttons a little bit, but I think the acting in it's great. I think it's one of those films that you have to kind of just watch and hope that the threads come together by the end for you. You can't try and understand it as it's going on, otherwise you'll just drive yourself mad.
Excuse me.
And it's and it does kind of all come together, that it's essentially just all these messed up shit running through his head, and he's actually in the home, and it's just really fucking sad. It also commits one of the most horrifying phrases in history to celluloid in Little Daddy. If I never hear Little Daddy uttered again,
pathetic that.
It will be too soon. I wanted to burst my eardrums when they said
it made no sense either.
The chicken bothered you, didn't it?
The chicken
Little
bothered
Daddy
me a
bothered
lot.
me. The chicken bothered you.
I literally said to Bex, if they mention got a chicken or something like that one more time.
See, that didn't bother me because the whole point of the movie and having that touchstone there of the chicken was that he was looping.
Mention a meal though. Don't just mention I got you a chicken. I'm making you a chicken. Mention a fucking meal.
It's just chicken, isn't it?
No, but what? Just a chicken? No, they don't say roast chicken.
Yeah, but
they just say chicken.
Right, if we were having like a roast chicken dinner and you were like, oh, we're having for dinner, I'd be like, oh, chicken.
Chicken what?
Well, then if you asked the question, I would expand upon that.
It bothered me.
It really did.
I think the default for we're having chicken is a roast chicken.
Yeah, I would say so. I think it's just been fucking difficult.
No, but it's the way it was done. The chicken thing bothered me. It's not the biggest thing that bothered me.
I feel like this is your version of when I had problems with The Last Jedi when people were being put on hold.
Yeah, it could be a little bit. And I will admit that it could be a little bit, but it was just that little thing, you know, the way where it just gets in your brain and it just twinges a little bit.
Yeah,
Even you know, I'm being unreasonable here, but stop fucking saying chicken.
I'm sorry, but I still maintain that in the Star Wars world, they don't put people on hold.
I mean, I maintain that they have mastered space travel. I think that a long time ago they worked out hold.
I think the whole, can you hold for a minute, please, or whatever he says, that's not something that anyone in the Star Wars world has ever said. And also, bit of breaking news, looks like Chelsea are pulling out of the Super League.
Yeah, I think it's all going to come crashing down in the next week.
Very funny. Anyway, so Hopkins, Mark, you're not a fan, are you?
I'm not a fan. I think he is incredibly overrated.
I think he's great in this though.
But he's Anthony Hopkins in it. Right. If he's not Anthony Hopkins in it, right, then he needs to stop doing that thing that he does.
Oh my god, that's just how he talks.
No, that's not a word though. It's a noise. It's a noise. Just don't do it.
It's part of his inflection.
Right, but then you can't have it. You can't inflect it on every character you play. Otherwise, you're just Anthony Hopkins.
Well, he's called Anthony. You don't get his surname.
Yeah, it's called Anthony, and the date of birth he gives is his date of birth.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh,
The role was literally written for him.
nice.
That's why he's called Anthony. Hey, the thing, right, here we go. Right, the thing is with The Father, it's a really, really, really good movie. And it's a really interesting movie. There's a lot of points where you go, whoa, okay, what the fuck's going on there? And there's bits where you have to question. Like, a big question there that I had in it was when Mark Gatiss starts hitting him, and then he suddenly turns into Rufus Sewell. Was the Rufus Sewell version hitting him? Because I don't think he was.
No.
I think the Rufus Sewell, I think that's really clever casting. Because Rufus Sewell is more of somebody who exudes a more intimidating nature than Mark Gatiss. And he has the bits where he literally calls Hopkins' character on things, but you only ever see Gatiss' character or version actually assault him. And Gatiss, I'm not having a go at Gatiss, but Gatiss seems a little bit less physically intimidating or imposing than Rufus Sewell. And I think that's a really clever piece of casting and manipulation of the way that you view it. There's so much good going on in this movie. And I don't think, I think it's right that, I think you said, Ian, and you said, Becky, that Coleman and Olivia Williams are both really, really good in this. I think Rufus Sewell and Matt Gatiss are really good at it. I think Hopkins is good in it. I don't think he's the best thing in it. I think he's probably the weakest performance in it. But in a film of very, very good performances, so I don't think he's anywhere near, I'm not saying he's bad in it, because he's not. He's very good in it. But the moments where I go, were all Hopkins moments. And part of that could be because I just don't like his style of acting. There could absolutely be that, and I will freely admit that.
I don't think there's a weak performance in this.
But I 100% agree with you.
I think even fucking Poots does a lot with the actual screen time she gets. She's very good.
Yeah, I think she gets she purposely conveys the oddity of her character that
like
she doesn't exist.
Confusion,
yeah.
Isn't it? Yeah.
That her character doesn't actually exist.
Well, her character is Olivia Williams, yeah?
And he's putting his dead
daughter's face on it. So we never get her character, with the exception of a flashback death sequence.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's the way it plays around is really interesting. I did feel very much, I didn't know anything about this movie going in or anything like that, and I turned around to you about 20 minutes in, didn't I, Becky, and said, this is based on a play, right?
Yeah.
Because I felt very much like I was watching a film based on a play, which isn't even a criticism.
I bet it's fantastic as a play.
Except it's fantastic as a play as well.
It all uses the same space. It'll just be set dressing work.
And it's so clever, the fact that you've got that you have one thing that theatre does and that players do is they reuse actors to play different roles so that you can keep the people you have to pay down.
Yeah. And
that uses this, but in a really fucking clever way. So much of it is really, really, really good. And the more I talk about it, the more it goes up. But then you have the last 2 minutes of it, which I thought were appalling. And you had Little Daddy, which was just like...
nails down a fucking chalkboard, yeah.
Yeah, it was horrific.
Just horrible.
It was almost like they were committing a hate crime on me.
Yeah.
It was horrible.
I mean, that...
First time
it was I
was sick in my mouth a bit.
Yeah.
Go on, Ian, sorry.
No, I'm sorry for... I that bit I read as... he's basically reverted and she's not actually saying all this shit. He's imagining that she's his mum and that's the shit that his mum would say to him or something, you know, like
the bit at the end was that, but the Little Daddy thing, fucking hell. Fuck it, just any adult that calls their father daddy needs to have a word anyway.
It was.
But little daddy, oh.
Yeah, there was another bit that.
But the bit where he has the breakdown in the hospital room and he kind of reverts to a childlike mentality, that didn't bother me at all. I found it really heartbreaking.
The thing is, you did and Ian did. So I am freely ready to admit that I am absolutely in the wrong.
Is this Grave of the Fireflies all over again? Is this because of the whole you being dead inside thing?
Yeah, it probably is. It probably is because people who have.
I actually asked Mark what he'd do if I got dementia, and he said I'd mess with you. Thanks, Mark. Thanks for that. I believe you would as well. Put me in a fucking home.
I kind of would a little bit, yeah. But yeah, I don't know. I think I definitely think with that I am very much in the wrong, and it is my weird wired brain that causes me to go, right, that didn't land for me. But I think even you two have to admit that long shot going out after what was said and focusing in on the leaves on the trees was a bit like,
it was a bit on the nose.
Please fuck off.
Yeah.
But then again, in saying that, I think there was a lot of hard cuts that you could have made and made this movie devastating at the end.
I almost, yeah. I mean, you could have had just a cut to black with like her cradling him, and it would have been more shocking. But by then, I think maybe just leaving it on 30 seconds of you just kind of like contemplating it and it just kind of releasing the air out of the balloon a little bit. I thought was fine. I mean, it's not the finest directorial choice of the film, don't get me wrong, but I get where you're coming from, but it worked on me, and I kind of just needed that time to sit with it for 20, 30 seconds.
And the thing is, I think if that closing scene has got you,
yeah, exactly,
then I think you'd be more inclined. That would be more, like you said, that makes perfect sense, and there is that. I actually think in terms of directorially, I think it's for a first-time film director, it's really quite impressive, and it was quite heartening the fact that he wrote the play, but he brought in somebody else to co-write the screenplay with him because he wanted somebody who got the way that film works and what is it? So he chose somebody purposefully in Chris Hampton who has adapted plays before, but also as well somebody who English was their first language, so that would make sense. So that the direct translations could be moved around a little bit. So it shows that Florenzella is very much it's his play and it's his film, but it showed the fact that he doesn't have the an ego of ownership,
Yeah.
and that he wanted to make the best version of this, so and to do that,
brought in the appropriate help. Yeah,
that he's brought in help.
Yeah, because we did wonder, didn't we, whether Little Daddy's just a bad translation.
Yeah. I mean, I messaged Ian earlier today and said that during the review of this movie, it's either going to go up a star for me or down a star. And it's gone up a star.
That's good.
Because it is a...
What did you give it before?
It's 3.5. So it's gone up half a star for. Because it's so much more interesting than Olivia Colman and Anthony Hopkins' Dementia movie.
It is.
It really is.
Yeah.
I'm really excited to see the
next
Hugh
ones.
Jackman, Laura Dern bipolar movie.
Yeah, that's so.
The Son.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's a great title for your follow-up to The Father. It's perfect. Sorry.
Well, the last one's got to be called The Holy Ghost, then.
No, well, apparently it's a trilogy he's doing based on familial relationships. So the father, the son, and then whatever it'll be.
Uncle.
The second
Father,
cousin.
the son, and the uncle. It doesn't all have to be boys. Could be.
He's gone father son. It would seem like if he then went Great Aunt, it would be a little bit like.
Why would it be Great Aunt?
I don't know, but why would I say Great Aunt? Did it have Martin Lawrence in a fat suit?
You know.
Florian Zeller's Big Mama's House 4.
Yeah.
Don't think tonally that would work.
No, it wouldn't. Are we moving towards the end of this? Because it's definitely not shit.
Oh god, yeah, definitely not shit.
It's a very hard and definitely not shit as well.
Yeah, I mean, I honestly, I think it would be. It's got no chance of winning Best Picture, but if it was in the running, I think it would probably be the one that I'd be going, yes, please.
Yeah, I would be perfectly happy with this winning Best Picture.
Yeah. 2 seconds, because I actually forget what fucking he's even nominated for Best Picture this fucking year. Where's Best Picture?
Well, yeah, because while Mark's doing that, for me, One Night in Miami would be up there. The more I think about Nomadland, the more I like it, but I don't think I'm quite there. But in terms of like an overall picture, I think maybe Nomadland would take. But I don't know though. Like The Father, best director, I don't think Zeller got nominated for best director, which I think is fucking insane.
Yeah.
I'd swap him out for Fincher, no fucking problem. Lee Isaac Chung as well, to be fair.
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
Can I just say, I think the other one, based on the titles of his plays, will be The Mother.
Cool.
He's got the father, the son, the mother. They're the only sort of family.
It would make sense then.
Yeah, it would.
So it's not the Holy Ghost.
Don't think it's the Holy Ghost, babe, no.
Did I go a little bit too Catholic there?
You did. We have been watching some Catholic shit, aren't we?
Yeah, I went down full fucking Catholicism there. If this won Best Picture, I wouldn't be going, well, that's a bit of a fucking Green Book, innit? It would be a, well played.
Well played.
Yeah, well played.
Well done, Anthony. It's about time. That's what you'd be saying, isn't it?
No, that isn't what I'd be saying.
You deserve it, Anthony.
No, I wouldn't be saying that.
Viva Wales.
Well, our audience poll, 83% were definitely not shit.
Yeah.
And 17% was shit.
Wow.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Right then, I'm going to get a beer, is it?
We'll pause then. All
right then.
Hey Hannah, I think you really can't beat a good rewatch of a TV show. Would you agree with that, love?
Oh, yes, I would.
Marvel's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
I think during, global pandemics, storms, all of these things, it's quite nice to just sit down and burn through something that you've seen a million times.
Absolutely, nothing like a binge watch.
Star Trek.
Babylon 5.
Because you could sit there for hours looking at serial killer documentaries.
Absolutely, that
Netflix.
doesn't make you a weird person at all.
It doesn't. Yeah, you could watch documentaries that all seem to be about women killing men.
Love you, darling.
You could put off watching Daredevil for the 30th time.
Harry Potter.
But really, you can't beat immersing yourself in the warm jumper of a rewatch of a show or a franchise.
Beloved franchise.
Lord of the Rings.
Twin Peaks. From VHS compilations recorded off television with the ad breaks, cut out of course, to DVD box sets of Sex and the City and, I don't know, Smallville.
Farscape.
Quantum Leap. To giving up finding new content on Netflix and just having a comfort trawl through Star Trek The Next Generation or Parks and Recreation. I think that we can all agree.
There's a lot to be said for that.
You can't beat a good rewatch. So, with that in mind, join
Hannah
and Mike from Chinstroker vs. Punter as we burn through some of our favourite franchises and share our immediate reactions to each instalment in both spoiler and non-spoiler sections. To do that, do a search for the Rewatch Project with Hannah and Mike on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or whichever your favourite podcast provider may be, or go directly to anchor.fm/rewatch project. We are proud members of the Pod Syndicate family of podcasts.
This podcast you're listening to, pretty good, isn't it? Only problem is, it's about halfway through. Pretty soon, it'll be over, and then what are you going to do? Well, if you're a fan of this show, why not head over to wearepodsyndicate.com and subscribe to our brand new feed, Pod Syndicate, The Bonus Shows. Every week, your hosts from Beyond the Neon, Chinstroker vs. Punter, Entertainment Landfill, Film Bastards, His Film, Her Movie, and What's on Tap will be dropping bonus shows right onto that feed. These shows might be collaborations and crossovers, or they might be archive episodes, interviews, one-offs, and other treats from across the Pod Syndicate network. So, prepare yourself for the inevitable disappointment of this Pod Syndicate show ending by heading to wearepodsyndicate.com and clicking on The Bonus Shows.
We now return you to your regularly scheduled Pod Syndicate podcast.
Fuck me. Oh. So I just sat down and forgot that I was in the chair that's got a much lower seat.
Did you full drop then?
I fuck it, yeah. Like that was very, very unnerving. I tell you what, Mark, the way this is going, I don't think we are going to talk about the football on Thursday because fucking Man City are pulling out as well.
Oh.
Shit. And Talk Sport are now saying all 12 clubs are meeting tonight to discuss disbanding it.
Fucking hell.
A reminder of something that Florentino Perez said earlier today. The contract of the Super League is binding. Nobody can leave. We all work together. All the clubs signed the contracts last Saturday. There's no problem.
It seems like, yeah, they've all gone. Yeah, maybe not.
It's fucking incredible. I mean, like, the thing is, UEFA are going to have them over a fucking barrel now as well. Like, they're not going to be able to pull anything like this for years.
The thing is, though, I think what this might do is they might, if they do this bad, they might look at it and go, all right, we'll pull away from this, but now could you want to have a quick look at what the new Champions League revamp is and have a go at that?
I love how everyone gets this angry about something that's going to hurt their pockets, though, and online bullying and racism against players just continues rampant and unchecked.
Yep. Jordan Henderson raised that point today.
I think it's disgusting, to be honest. Get angry about the right stuff.
It's yes, 100% that. It was a worthy thing to get angry about. It's just people should get angry about more worthy things.
Yeah.
Anyway, I just love it. There's probably going to be more developments while we're recording.
We'll keep you updated, guys. It will come out for a while, but it will keep you updated.
Yeah, well, yeah. Well, I don't know. I'm sorry. Like, it must it must be boring for people who are listening. But the fact that Joel Glazer was like the one person who actually came out and fucking said something of any other like the chairman. I'm not backing Joel Glazer up or anything. He's fucking retarded. But did anybody else actually come out in support of this from the clubs?
No. The official statement was Joe Glazer, and then the only other sort of like proper presence to come out has been Florentino Perez.
Oh man, fucking hilarious. Anyway, right, what are we on to?
What have you been watching, Ian?
Ah, we're doing that, are we? I wasn't expecting that. Ah, very good. All right. Okay, so I've done some Oscar catch up, but I'll talk around that with a couple of things. Watched Tower Heist, a cancelled director's Tower Heist, which has not aged very well. It's 10 years old, and I think there are multiple lines that would not be looked upon with great fondness at this point. And it's it's weird for such a varied, interesting cast to make something that's so fucking nondescript is quite an achievement. You know, like Ben Stiller is just milk toast in this. Like, he's just nothing. Eddie Murphy, funny, not in it as much as you think he's going to be for being second build. Alan Alda, I think, is a good bad guy, but is kind of one note. However, Taya Leone is hotter than the sun in moments in this, and my word, but in terms of pure vibe more than anything else, Taya Leone getting drunk and taking the piss out of me is a kink I never knew I had. But here we go, that's where we are. That's Tower Heist. We also, Donna and I on Friday night, rewatched Avengers Infinity War. Infinity War is 2.5 hours of get the thing. And Endgame is 3 hours of better than that. And I think that's maybe all I have to say about Infinity War as well. Like, it's entertaining. There are individual scenes that are great. But it is all set up to a far superior second part. For me.
You're wrong, but you're entitled to your opinion.
Coolio. Okay, so Oscars catch up. So I am down to 5 films to go until I have seen every single feature-length Oscar-nominated film.
I'm gonna
do it. Sorry?
That's pretty impressive.
Thank you. So, I watched, nominated for Best Original Song, The Life Ahead.
Is the song any good?
It's in the end credits, and it's got kind of nothing to do with what actually happened in the film.
So you watched a 95-minute Italian film?
Yeah.
For a song that is at the end credits.
Yep. That's right.
That's commitment, Ian, I'm not going to lie. That's pretty impressive.
Yep. Is the film any good?
It was alright. I
mean, because it looks very much like, like 3 out of 5.
That's exactly what I gave it, mate.
Yeah. It looks like the cinematic version of a decent packet salad.
That's weirdly, I think that's perfect, actually. Thing is, I think Netflix were kind of thinking maybe they'd have some sort of campaign going for Sophia Loren.
Yeah.
But nah, she's not bad. I mean, story is Sophia Loren plays a kind of like den mother for the kids of sex workers who used to be a sex worker herself, now looks after these kids for money. A orphan boy living with a doctor is sent to live with her. But he also starts a life of peddling drugs. So he's getting to know Sophia Loren and kind of learning kind of how to be good while also being kind of tempted by the dark side. Problem with this, the dark side, yes, he's peddling drugs, but the guy, not the worst person in the world, treats him pretty well. It's a weird father-son dynamic, but you could see a version of this where drug dealer realizes the end of his ways and starts looking after this boy, and you wouldn't have to have much a change in the characters at all. It's weird. And by the end of the film, it's like, well, obviously the right decision is to go with the side of Sophia Loren. And I kind of feel sorry for the drug dealer. It kind of seemed like he needed a friend. So maybe not the most effective bit of work in the world. But no, I mean, it was fine. But like I say, the song didn't really have much to do with anything. Kind of more notable Oscar stuff. Nominated for Best Actress, Andra Day for The United States versus Billie Holiday. Lee Daniels' new film, which Andra Day is very good, the rest of it not so much, which kind of I think is the prevailing opinion about the film. I mean, yeah, she's very good. In a year where there was more competition, she wouldn't have a fucking sniff at a nomination. She's good, but it feels like she would be like number 5 quite handily, really. So what is it? Kirby, Mulligan, McDormand, Davis. Yeah, she's number 5 by a distance for me. It doesn't really examine the genius of Billie Holiday and why you should necessarily be that bothered about who she is and the battles that she has, aside from the fact that she wrote this song Strange Fruit, which isn't played until about 80 minutes into the film. So you're told all the way through, it's like, play Strange Fruit, play Strange Fruit. I can't play Strange Fruit. They won't let me. Why? There's a title card at the start saying that it references lynchings. Cool. I want to hear the song. Let's not assume that everybody knows what Strange Fruit is. Maybe just have a fucking scene at the start where she's recording it or something. I don't know. But instead, you get Trevante Rhodes playing an FBI agent who basically fucks her over and then falls in love with her afterwards. So again, his character, not particularly compelling, not a great dude. But he sure wants to fuck Billie Holiday. And I don't know, that it just left no real impression on me whatsoever, other than that was quite melodramatic, and you saw a lot more of Andra Day than you probably should have, given what the content of this film is. Like, there's some salacious showing of her body through this film, which, yeah, it's. I mean, yes, you're more interested now, Mark. Yes.
No, I'm a little bit like, why?
Not a film that you'd expect to have a Michelin rating, is it?
No, yeah, it is. Yeah.
Yeah. Gratuitously disrespectful.
I haven't seen the movie, so I can't comment on it. But the fact that there's nudity in this movie makes me go, huh?
Oh. You're Scoobying again.
I am Scoobying again. But it is from the director of The Paperboy.
Yeah, I mean, that's it. But it's the director of The Paperboy. Yes. Doing this, very well-intentioned film that just doesn't fucking work at all.
Have you ever seen The Paperboy, Becky?
I think so. Is that the one with Baby Zephron?
It is the one with Baby Zephron.
Yeah, I think
it's
so.
the one where Kidman pisses on Zephron.
Yeah, Kidman
really
pisses on
hard
Zephron.
to get.
And literally, John Cusack gets Kidman off by just looking at her.
Oh, that's right.
In front of people.
Yeah. Filthy Cusack.
What a fucking film.
What am I rewatching that?
5 stars, 2
remember all
thumbs
that in
up.
it. We might rewatch that this week.
We
It's
might.
last Thursday.
Yeah. Sorry.
Latest update. Barcelona have now said they didn't even commit to the Super League. Their participation was subject to ratification by the club's membership, and Atletico Madrid are also pulling out.
That's Barcelona with the biggest technicality they can.
The optics of being the last one to pull out of this, though, are going to be bad.
Yeah, that's Barcelona going, well, technically, Marilyn Manson never killed anybody. Not Marilyn Manson, Charles Manson never killed anybody.
I don't think Marilyn Manson's killed anybody either.
I don't know. Recent revelations. What else have you been watching here?
Anyway, yes.
Jesus.
And a couple more Oscar ones. Matteo Garone's Pinocchio, nominated for Best Costume Design and Best Makeup.
Pinocchio, the magnificence of this, listeners, is this is a quick insight into the how Ian's mind works. Ian went from messaging on WhatsApp on Saturday morning at like 9 o'clock saying that he might have to give up the Oscars for rewatch because Pinocchio was over 2 hours long, to literally half an hour later starting to watch Pinocchio.
Yeah, that's how I do.
Yeah, it almost felt like you went, I'm not going to be able to do this because fucking hell, Pinocchio's long. And then it's literally a part of your brain went, no, we need to watch it now so that we've got over that fucking hill.
I think it was that, though, in all honesty. If I wasn't fully intending on completing this Oscars watch, I fucking wouldn't have watched The Life Ahead, I'll tell you that for free. So, yeah, Pinocchio. Quite liked it.
I really want to see this now from your description of it on the boy chat.
It's fucking something else. I mean, it's the story of Pinocchio, but done in this Italian way with, like, oddly drab cinematography and no real sense of wonder, but an almost constant sense of threat.
Nice.
It's got, like, character design that will chill you to your bones. And it's got a monkey judge. But he's a judge who doesn't like people who are innocent, you see. They've got to be guilty of something, and then he'll let them go. And it's got a tuner that Mark quite rightly pointed out looks like something from the Mighty Boosh. Absolutely batshit, but considering it's over 2 hours long, the sheer what the fuckery of it all makes it very engaging. I just enjoyed the sheer cinema of it all. You know, like, it's a film that, frankly, if cinemas didn't exist, this film would not get made. No one would be fucking mental enough to go, director of Gomorrah wants to make... The director of Gomorrah did this. Wants to make an adaptation of Pinocchio where it's, like, ultra real and yet absolutely nightmarishly surreal. Go on, then. Yeah, I liked it. 4 out of 5. I may watch it again in my life.
Good.
And, yeah, real pleasant surprise, this one. It made me laugh, though, because I was watching it in front of Lottie. She was like, what's this? It's like, it's the Pinocchio. She was like, you shouldn't be watching this in front of me. And I was like, Lots, no, it's fine. It's a kid's film. And she was like, no, it's not. And, you know, it's like out of the mouths of babes. You know, it's something else, that. And lastly, nominated for Best Original Documentary, Time. This is on Amazon Prime. It's an Amazon original. And, pretty stunning bit of work about a husband and wife rob a bank. She's jailed for 3 years. He's jailed for 20. She's pregnant with twins at the time. And it's about her basically trying to get her husband out of jail, like get a parole hearing for him. But she also used to film her and her family a lot. So it's this kind of journey through 20 years of a family. She and I think 4 sons, I want to say, and how they completely break through the stereotype of black woman with husband in jail and 4 kids. But also really acknowledging the difficulties that they face and the perception of them that they face. And it's all done in like 80 minutes. Really, really powerful stuff. Lord knows the amount of footage they must have had to go through, but some of the images they capture, it's like it's I don't know, it's the story of a family's life. And it feels like it should be longer than an hour and 20, and yet it is an hour and 20. Really, really striking bit of work. Further evidence that when My Octopus Teacher wins Best Documentary on Sunday, that is going to be an absolute travesty. I've only got one more documentary left to watch, and the idea that The Octopus Teacher is better than any of these fucking things I've seen so far is an absolute joke. Crip Camp is a really engaging, heartwarming story of what people can do, how people can change viewpoints. Collective is a damning indictment of Romanian politics, but politics writ large, but is also constructed as an All the President's Men-esque thriller. Time is this fucking just crazy in concept documentary which pulls it off in such a weirdly short runtime. And My Octopus Teacher is about a man who befriends an octopus. So I've got The Mole Agent left, which apparently is about an old man who I want to say it's about an old man who infiltrates a care home to uncover the injustices being done to the people who live there.
So it's not about Hans Moleman.
I wish. The Hans Moleman Agent's coming next year. I mean, I'll talk about that on the next show. But I mean, seriously, Time. It's like 80 minutes. It's really, really worth a watch. But that's me done.
Becky, you've watched some solo bits this week, haven't you? Because I haven't watched any solo bits.
Not very much.
Well, fuck you then.
Just The Mummy and The Mummy Returns. Because they're fucking bangers.
The Mummy is.
The Mummy Returns is really good. Just because you don't like children, Mark, does not make it a bad film.
That kid is really fucking annoying.
I mean, yes, he is really annoying.
He is the worst.
But it still has Brendan Fraser in it, so...
But it also has that kid in it.
He does, yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Quite why they thought they could just replace Rachel Weisz and carry on is fucking beyond me. She's so integral to it. Like, she's not a side character. If they'd recast Jonathan as an example, you could maybe have gotten away with it. But the three
of John Hannah.
You could have gotten away with it, but the 3 you absolutely cannot recast are Brendan Fraser, Rachel Weisz, and Imhotep.
Imhotep is he in the third one?
I don't think he is, but if you were making it and he was in it, you couldn't recast it. His face is very recognisable. The chemistry between Brendan Fraser and Rachel Weisz is not. It's not just. It's not manufactured. No. You can't just swap somebody else into that and it work, and it doesn't.
No.
Because they're kind of adorable as like a little on-screen couple.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's fucking great. They're fun. The effects are good enough that you need them to be. The sandstorm bit that kills that old man is quite impressive.
Weirdly, the third film has the worst looking effects.
Yeah. Makes me really sad. The whole Brendan Fraser thing makes me really sad. Like, it genuinely, I think about it on night and it makes me really sad. I want him back. I want Brendan Fraser back.
He's coming back.
Is he going to be in a Quentin Tarantino movie?
No, he's got a few films coming out in the next couple of years.
Good.
He's going to be in one of the new garage movies, isn't he? Right, so it's what we've watched together.
Yeah.
We watched The Hand That Rocks the Cradle.
Yeah, we did.
Nice.
That's our Disney Star movie of the week. Is The Hand That Rocks the Cradle. It's really interesting and really good movie. It very much is of that ilk of 90s thrillers.
Rebecca De Mornay is absolute. I hate the phrase of it, but she is absolute chef's kiss in this. She is fucking perfect in that role.
Oh yeah.
She is disdainful of everybody. She's a dick. She doesn't give a shit about hurting anybody. In fact, that is her MO. That's what she wants to do. When she's called on it, she's like, all right, I'll be on my way. I'm just going to go get my baby. Oops, no, not my baby. And then she fucking sneaks in and tries to steal the baby.
Yeah.
She's just a brilliant psychopath.
Ernie Hudson is fantastic in it.
Is he, what's his face? I can't remember his name. Solomon.
Yes.
Yeah.
Annabelle Sciorra?
Yeah.
Let's go Sciorra. Yeah, just her thing of just going to walk around just from my top off for no reason.
There is some tittage in this, isn't there?
It literally is, yeah. She's just parading around.
It's.
But I think she plays the kind of unraveling woman really well as well. Like, she doesn't know what's going wrong, but she knows something's going wrong. It's really fucking pissing her off, and she's upset about it and sad, and she's just
Yeah.
And then once she realises, she's like, no, get the fuck out of my house.
Yeah. This is after, like, she's murdered her best friend.
I mean, it's a while,
stolen
yeah.
her baby.
I mean, even she's really good in it. She's Belly in it. Julianne Moore's great in that. She, as the like, career, power-driven best friend who's, again, kind of a bitch. There's a lot of bitches in this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good movie. We also watched I Know What You Did Last Summer.
Yeah, we did.
Didn't we?
Yeah.
Sweet.
I didn't know this fact, and I found it out just the other day. But you know the bit where Jennifer Love Hewitt turns round and shouts the
"What are you waiting for?
Where are you?" Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you know that was guest directed by a child who won a competition?
I did not know that. No.
Yes.
I mean, makes sense now.
Yeah.
That's an awful little scene.
That blew my mind when I found that out.
Oh, it's so memeable though, isn't it?
Yep. Can you imagine that though? A, why is a child winning that competition?
Yeah. Right, for a horror movie.
Yeah.
It's alright as I Know What You Did Last Summer though. It's not as good as the movies it's trying to be.
No.
But it's entertaining enough.
It's exactly what it needs to be.
It's like a little time capsule as well.
Yeah.
Of the cast. Like, oh my god, where have all these people gone? They've gone.
Yeah, they literally all have gone. Yeah. Freddie Prinze Jr. plays human confused face.
Oh, he's great.
He's not.
He's great as
He's
confused
really
face.
not though.
No. But as human confused face, he's really good.
He is, but he's a terrible actor.
And then randomly, you've got all these like actors in quote marks.
Because they're good, because we're a podcast.
Yeah, in this movie, and then Anne Hesh.
Yeah.
And it's like, what are you doing there, Anne?
It is like they went, we need somebody to play just like slightly just unhinged.
I mean, Anne Hesh works in that role, but it's like you'd have thought she would have had better things to do.
Maybe.
Than this.
Maybe.
Like, Scream's really popular, let's make our own. That is basically what this film is.
Oh yeah, without question. We rewatched Twisted as part of our ongoing Judathon.
We did. It's really good, it's Twisted.
It is, yeah. It contains basically Andy Garcia just shouting 60% of his lines for no reason.
It is a very shouty film. Yeah.
Like, it's... So, for anybody who hasn't seen it, Twisted is... Ashley Judd plays like basically a super cop, doesn't she?
A thirsty super cop.
A super cop who manages to work her way up Vice to getting to work on homicide. And then the first case that she gets homicide, it turns out it's somebody that she slept with. And then the second...
Not the killer, the
killer,
dead
yeah.
person. No,
the
dead person.
dead person.
Yeah.
And then the next body that they arrive on is also somebody that she slept with.
Little slutty bird, isn't she?
She likes to fuck. Yeah.
She likes to fuck.
Likes to fuck.
And then just like literally gets the fuck out of there and goes home and drinks wine and passes out.
Yeah. She's basically the perfect woman. And Andy Garcia is her new partner on Homicide, isn't he?
Her new shouty partner.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But literally, like, she doesn't tell him. Like everybody knows that she slept with the first body that turns up, but the second one she doesn't tell people, does she?
It's a bit awkward though, isn't it?
And then someone makes a joke about it, about you slept with this one, and it all gets a little bit. They all laugh about it.
It escalates, doesn't it?
It escalates, and then when she walks out, Andy Garcia is going, "You can't let him get to you." She's like, "Oh, do you know what the funny thing is?" And he's like, "What?" He's like, I did sleep with him. And then for no reason, Andy Garcia takes her halfway down a staircase and just starts shouting. It's like he went, I'm going to take her over here so we're away from all these people so they can't hear us, and then shout so they can hear us.
Yeah.
It's so odd. And there's a bit where he's just carving a salmon for no reason.
Oh, and then like... and pushing it in her mouth. Oh,
Feeding her.
Yeah, it's not good though.
Weird.
Like, one thing I noticed about this film that I've not noticed before is there is an awful lot of unsolicited, inappropriate touching of Ashley Judd in this film.
It is. Everybody touches
Everyone
Ashley Judd.
is just...
Leland Orser's in it for 2 minutes and touches her inappropriately.
It made me quite uncomfortable actually, because she's a woman that I always kind of respect for having a certain amount of agency.
The only one who doesn't touch it inappropriately is Samuel L. Jackson.
He's been fucking roofing her.
Yeah, it's been roofing her. But not to fuck her. Well, that might be a direct out there. We don't know about.
It's a really weird.
Woodward's just resigned as Man United chairman. Sorry.
Fucking hell.
I promise you, I am listening, and Twisted sounds really, really fun. But fuck me, there's so much stuff going on tonight.
That's mad. There's head's gonna roll on this. And then our final one, Bex.
Yeah, another Judd one.
Another Judd one.
But a different kind of Judd.
Yeah, we moved out of the
thriller kind of vibe.
Yeah.
Into a
crime comedy.
Crime comedy. It's so we watched Flypaper, the 2011 movie with Patrick Dempsey in it.
Also, it's a really good cast. Patrick Dempsey, Ash Judd, Tim Blake Nelson, Jeffrey Tambor, Pruitt Taylor Vince.
I love how you skip over Mackay Pfeiffer.
And Octavia Spencer.
Yeah.
Oh.
Basically, two sets of bank robbers turn up at the same time to rob a bank. They decide one of them wants the ATMs and the other one wants the vault, so they decide to just leave each other to do their own thing while the bank's locked down.
Yeah.
And keep the staff and is there any customers there?
No.
I don't think there is there? As hostages, but then there ends up being, due to incompetence and sneakiness, hijinks ensue. Things keep going missing and people keep dying, and explosives go off more explosively than they should. It's really good. So it's clever. It's quite twisty. It's a bit of a kind of it's a kind of a whodunit without a done it, if that makes sense. You can't it keeps sort of leading you down wrong avenues of who is orchestrating everything. You kind of at the start you think it's this larger group of bank robbers, don't you, that are the ones like messing with stuff, and then it's which one of the hostages, and then is it these stupid guys, are they actually like really intelligent?
Yeah.
And then it turns out that it was, well, I won't give it away in case you haven't seen
the person you think it's going to be all the way through it turns out it's not.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was Flypaper.
Patrick Dempsey's really good in Flypaper though. Like I wish
He
he'd
is
been
really good
more.
in it, yeah. Yeah, he is actually really, really charismatic in it. So, to our other feature review, Love and Monsters, a movie that's kind of like that did the rounds, would have got a cinematic release, then Netflix have picked up, I think, is what's happened with it.
Yeah, it was a Paramount. They sold it to Netflix.
Yeah. Stars who's it star? Directed by Michael Matthews, stars Dylan O'Brien, Jessica Hardwick, Michael Rooker, and other people. And what is it about? Let's see what the I am of the DB says. Love and Monsters. 7 years after he survived the monster apocalypse, lovable hapless Joel leaves his cozy underground bunker behind on a quest to reunite with his ex.
Okay.
Well, not an
Not really that
ex.
cozy, his underground bunker, is it? It gets invaded by monsters.
Good old IMDb.
Yeah, that's how I like the IMDb thing. It gets it more wrong than I would sometimes.
Sometimes.
Ian, Love and Monsters. Was it charming enough to get by with you?
Yeah, I mean, this is the thing, isn't it? It's a very, very charming film, and that completely papers, well, not completely, but it papers over some cracks, you know. It's a film that by the end of it is far more, oh, that's lovely, than you ever expect it to be, you know. Yeah, I thought it was a really nice time. Don't know whether I'll ever watch it again, but from Oscar watch point of view, best visual effects nomination, thought that was pretty well deserved. You know, there's a lot of really interesting monsters in this, and they blend in really well. And it kind of feels like, could there be sequels in the offing where they're maybe learning to live with the monsters, you know? And it's like, I think I'd be up for that. You know, it's and the whole, at the end, the kind of like, you got to go back out into the world and not be scared by it, feels incredibly fucking of the time. I liked it. I thought Dylan O'Brien was charming. I liked Jessica Henwick. The Rooker section was delightful. Yeah, not much to hate. Can't say I fucking truly loved any aspect of it, but yeah, you'd have to be hard of heart to go, nah, that thing was a piece of shit, quite frankly, I think. So, Bex, why did you think it was a piece of shit?
No, I really liked it. There was one point though, wasn't there, where with what's the creature? The creature that comes out of the ground in the playground, and the dog's hiding under the dog. Like, swear to God, Mark, if that dog fucking dies, we are switching this thing off and not watching any more of it.
Sure.
I was very invested in his relationship with
Boy.
Yeah. Oh, and the dress. He just really loved his owner. Our dog would never. Yeah, I think the thing that kind of elevates it is that kind of it's the relationship stuff. So the relationship with Rooker and the little girl, his relationship with the dog, he is, like you say, he's very charming, to say that he's, you know, he's the lead in this. He's carrying the entire movie alongside various different people, but no one particularly constant throughout it. The stuff when he gets to the other end, and she's had a whole relationship with a whole other person and lost them whilst he's been sat in his bunker and he's not even known anything about it, is kind of, you know, I mean, to be fair, he should have kind of figured that out. It's been 7 yees.
What?
That she'd have had another relationship with somebody else.
But she kind of could have mentioned it as well.
Yeah.
I mean, he should have figured it out.
But she
kind of could have mentioned it as well.
Yeah.
That's the huge thing. Like when, and that did bother me when she's like, well, I didn't think you were actually going to come. It was like, he made pretty fucking clear he was coming. Do you not say then, actually, I probably need to tell you something before you do?
Yeah, it did feel a little bit like, yeah, she should maybe have said, you know, when they first reconnected, maybe at that point could have gone, oh, you know, yeah, what is it? I just dropped it in somewhere there a little bit. Yeah, it seemed a bit odd.
But yeah, but then I like the fact that it's essentially kind of it's kind of like a coming of age kind of thing in the sense that he's already of the age, but he's not really done anything. He's being kept in a sort of slight arrested development by the fact that he is just living in this capsule underground, and he goes out and he does stuff and he becomes the person he is capable of being, and then he does it all again and goes back and then goes to live in the mountains with Michael Rooker.
Yeah, I very much enjoyed the fact that because the thing is,
I love the fact that the rescuers turn out to be pirates as well. That was good.
What?
The yacht captain dude. They're essentially pirates, aren't they?
Oh yeah.
I like that.
I mean, Dylan O'Brien there, I think he's a very charismatic screen presence.
Yeah.
And I think that he can do patter comedy quite well. And I think he's got. I'm very interested to see where his career kind of is going to go, because he seems like quite an interesting guy in terms of the choices that he makes. But I think if you don't get on board with his version of charisma, then
it could be a bit too kitschy.
You could have that. There's definitely a because with something like this, I think you could quite easily compare this to something like Zombieland.
Yeah, it made me want to rewatch Zombieland.
Would be an easy comparison. However, you are literally on the majority of this journey with just him. So what works with Zombieland is that if let's say Zombieland was just you on the journey with Jesse Eisenberg's character, it would be insufferable and nobody would like it. You need the balance of Woody Harrelson and Emma Stone and Abigail Breslin to kind of to bounce that out a little bit, to take away the intentional irritableness of Jesse Eisenberg. What?
Don't know how much it's intentional or how much he's just leaned into the fact that that's who he is and he has to embrace it.
It might be that, but I think the film is aware that he's that, and the neurosis and something like that. But his Dylan O'Brien's it's not neurosis or anything like that. He's not scared of facing these monsters or anything like that. He just freezes up because of a traumatic event, and the fact that he has to snap out of it to save his best friend, which is the greatness of it being man's best friend. It's that the dog is helpless and he has to snap out of it for that. I thought it was brilliant. There's some great shots in it. The shot of him throwing the grenade into the Queen thing.
That was great.
Was a fucking great shot. You said it as well. There's some good fucking. You can tell that Michael Matthews had some great times watching Stand By Me.
Yeah. The bit with the music and then immediately followed by the leeches.
Immediately followed by the leeches.
Yeah. Like super powered leeches.
Yeah,
no one wants that shit.
Wanker leeches.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then the trippy scene and everything like that is.
I tell you what had an awful lot more emotion to it than I anticipated. The scene of them getting attacked by the crab, I actually found that really heartbreakingly sad.
For the crab.
Yeah.
I am really glad that the minute he got that chin off, the first thing the crab did was went, oh, I'm going to go and get that Aussie prick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not only am I going to do that, I am going to sink that fucking yacht. It was... I felt like that crowd got exactly what he needed. He got the closure he needed.
Yeah.
And I'm glad for it.
Good for him.
Yeah, good for him. And I would absolutely watch sequels to this.
Even that, like, you look at the creature design, you could see the pain every time it got electrocuted. That's really good. Like, it wasn't just a scary crab monster.
No, it became a character.
Yeah, it did. And I really felt for that crowd. It spoke to me.
Yeah, no, I had a great time with it. I think like you said there, Ian, you'd be a little bit minge-faced if you went on as your shit. It's like, fuck off to Dickhead Island.
Yeah. It's just supposed to be a fun family film.
Yeah, it's.
Mark, just to say, I've been to Dickhead Island, and its reputation is unjustified.
Is it a party town?
Dude, I thought everybody there was all right.
Well, maybe you just found the right place.
Whatever do you mean?
Let's face it, if anyone was going to be sent to Dickhead Island on this podcast, it wouldn't be you two.
No, you'd be the mayor.
Yeah. I would absolutely be on the plane with Tom Arnold and Pauly Shore in that episode of The Simpsons. Short of the sun. I would go, I deserve it, and I regret nothing.
Yeah.
Solid.
I don't think there's that much more to say about Love and Monsters. It's a really good time.
Watch it.
Yeah.
Optimal time, Sunday, daytime, I would say, for this kind of movie.
It's a good daytime movie.
Yeah.
It's a great daytime watch.
But yeah,
Nice.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Would recommend, and we'll watch again.
Yeah. It will be one that I will watch again probably more than once as well.
And on the Lottie spectrum, she watched moments of it, so 5 out of 5.
Well, this is quite heartening. Love and Monsters, our audience poll. I'm definitely not shit. I'm guessing we're all definitely not shit.
Yeah.
Definitely not shit. 88%.
Boom.
Geostorm 12%.
I could see that. Like you say, if you don't get on with Dylan O'Brien's shtick, it could be a bit like, oh, he's irritating. The film's all right kind of vibe.
Yeah. Cool with that. Right, questions.
At least no one said shit, because it means that now you've not like retroactively called any of our listeners minge-faced.
Yeah.
Well, this time.
This time, yeah. Questions. Rick Kidd at Rick J. Kidd. As the Oscars this weekend, what are your favourite and least favourite Best Picture winning films?
Well, I had a little scroll through this because I am terrible at knowing what's won what.
Favourite and least favourite.
My favourite running through them would probably be Platoon. Fucking love Platoon. I could watch Platoon like once a week quite happily.
I mean, that's quite easy for you because it is one of your favourite movies.
I find it quite heartening when sort of more serious and deserving stuff like Spotlight gets it. Least favourite, I mean, there's so many in here that are fucking undeserving. The King's Speech, what the fuck. As a spectacular anti-royal, that one grated on me massively. Fucking Crash won it. Jesus Christ. Chicago won it.
Yeah, I forgot about that one.
That is mental. Shakespeare in Fucking Love is probably the classic should not have won an Oscar film, isn't it? That's the one that gets raised a lot when people are talking about how the Oscars mean nothing. Yeah, they're probably the ones that annoy me the most. But yeah, I think given that it's America, and given that Platoon is a Vietnam movie, I think it's done all right there.
I mean, yeah, mine would be Platoon or Rocket'd have to be up there.
Oh yeah, fucking hell, Kramer versus Kramer. I have an inordinate amount of love for Kramer versus Kramer, and it's such a fucking depressing film.
Nice bleakness of a movie.
It is, yeah. I really like it.
But worst, yeah, King's Speech for me.
Yeah.
Ian.
I'm just having a look through now. I mean, The Godfather 1 and 2 would probably be my favourite. No Country for Old Men up there as well for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. In terms of worst, I'll be honest. Out of the ones that I've seen, I think I've seen everyone for at least the last 20 years. But it may well be The King's Speech. I'm just having a scroll through now. Yeah. Yeah. You know,
That's it. I was looking at going, yeah, it's the King's Speech. It's the answer.
Yeah, I mean, I don't hate the King's Speech. I think The Apartment, in terms of favourite, is probably up there as well. To be fair, but I mean, I'm sure in individual years, a lot of wrong decisions have been made, including the King's Speech year when The Social Network should have won. But the actual films that have won Best Picture, if you look at them, most of them are like, yeah, that's a decent film. Yeah, I mean,
the 80s are a big indicator of that, because I went through it and went, I'm aware Dance of Wolves won it, but I forgot Driving Miss Daisy had won Best Picture, and then I completely forgot that Rain Man had won Best Picture, and then Out of Africa. In terms of, and not all these are bad movies, but they're just. Are they movies that still have an imprint?
I think Driving Miss Daisy definitely does, but not the imprint it would want.
Yeah, it just I don't know, but that's probably because personally I only became kind of like aware of and involved in the Oscars from like the 90s because of just an age thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I mean, it's interesting because like the year that Green Book won, like I think Green Book is a perfectly fine film.
Yeah, same.
Like, yeah, yeah. But you look, and that's the thing. Like, I can't say that's a bad film, but you look at the nominees: Black Panther, Black Klansman, Bohemian Rhapsody, The Favourite, Roma, A Star Is Born, Vice. Yeah. Green Book is not the best film in that list.
No.
Black Klansman.
But yes, yeah, I agree. Or yeah, I mean, I to be fair, Black Klansman, A Star Is Born. I think from a culture point of view, Black Panther as well. I think any one of those three. But Green Book has got a bit of a shitty reputation, especially on film Twitter now. And I think it's because it won Best Picture. If it didn't win Best Picture, people would be like, yeah, it was all right. He folded a pizza.
Yeah, it's people have got unreasonably sniffy towards that movie, I think.
But a little bit of breaking stuff. Ed Woodward was apparently going to announce that he was leaving towards the end of the year anyway.
So this just spurred it on.
Fucking ridiculous. Oh, and the president of Juventus has resigned.
And that's the second job he's resigned from this week.
Oh shit! Was he the guy? He was the head of the ECF, wasn't he?
He was indeed.
Oh.
It's a bad weekend for his pension.
Oh mate, God, I tell you what, I don't think I'm going to be watching a film tonight. I think I'm just going to be glued to this shit. Anyway.
Oh, we do have another question. Where is it? Marcus Zizu asks us, what are your thoughts on what films cinemas will show on their return? Will they show the Snyder Cut, Kong vs. Godzilla, and other pre-opening releases, or will it be straight into the new releases?
Depends how many new releases there are.
I think... I don't know.
I think it depends on a film by film basis. I could see the Snyder Cut maybe getting a showing with an intermission, just because of the cultural impact it has had.
I think that I could see him doing it, but as just an IMAX release for like a week.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I can't see like you just also ran kind of films like Godzilla vs Kong getting it. It's done. It's made whatever money it's going to make. Let's move on.
There is a little bit of that. It is Godzilla vs Kong has done well, but do they want to kind of continue to try and milk that?
You've got to look at. I would go see the Snyder Cut in the cinema to have the cinema experience of it. Even having already watched it, I would watch it again to see it in the cinema.
Yeah, same.
Godzilla vs Kong, I wouldn't watch it twice just to see it in the cinema.
No, but I've
already seen it.
But if the cinema opened tomorrow and it was only showing Godzilla vs Kong, between now and May the 17th, I'd go and see it at least 3 or 4 times.
I mean,
You
that's fair, but you would be going on your own. I'll go see the classic movies that they will inevitably show.
No, they're just showing that.
They're just showing that.
Just showing
I'll
that between
wait.
now and May the 17th.
I'll wait.
there's going to be some Oscar films. Nomadland is going to play. Disney have already said that it will. Minari is supposed to be playing as well. You guys, sorry.
What did you say, sir?
Oh shit! Hang on. Sorry. 2-6. Hello.
Hello.
Ah, okay. Yeah. Yeah. Minari will play. Nomadland will play. You'll have Spiral and whatever else is coming out that day, which I don't think is much. I could see Godzilla versus Kong. Like it's maybe I don't know. It's interesting where Bex was talking about classic films. I wonder whether they're going to be a little bit out with the old, in with the new. Like they want to get started with new shit, whether that's new shit that's been on VOD for the last couple of months, or whether it's actually new. But it'll be interesting. I was thinking about it though. Like if we're just under 4 weeks from cinemas opening, we're just under 3 weeks from listings being made available. So we're probably, we're not that far away from actually finding out about all this shit. But apparently Spiral is coming out in IMAX. So will the first film you guys go see is IMAX Spiral?
I'd be fine with that.
Nice.
I'd be very happy with that. Oh, I forgot it was me hosting now. Right, that's episode 394. Ian, what are we covering next week?
Are we doing the normal show just in the Oscar build on Sunday?
Yeah, I would say so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So, while we watch the Oscar pre-show, including the original song nominees being performed, because they're not doing it during the ceremony itself. Sorry, Monkey's going to bed. Good night, Monkey. Love you. Okay, good girl. Love you. See you in a bit. We will be reviewing the Best Visual Effects nominee for next year, Mortal Kombat.
Of course, yeah.
Can't wait. I can't wait. I fucking can't wait.
That's going to be interesting. Yeah, I'm looking forward to that.
The thing is, it's been out in China, and I think it came out in Spain last week. It's been out in some territories for at least a couple of years, and there's been a couple of weeks. Sorry, there's been no word, which makes me wonder. So is it just going to be 3 out of 5? Just, bleh. But Bloodsicle, so who knows?
If that Bloodsicle happens in the first the pre-credits scene, and then the rest of it is just a bit,
oh mate, I'm gonna be fuming.
Yeah, it could be a bit anticlimactic. I've actually seen one kind of review of it that basically said it's a treat.
Yeah.
It's a violent treat.
And that's the best kind of treat.
Yes.
Thing is, I'll be watching it hopefully on Friday night. Winky winky. It after having people in the garden during the evening, a barbecue, probably a few drinks, girls go to bed, Mortal Kombat goes on. That's probably as perfect as you can get outside of the cinema.
Sounds good.
So basically, whatever I say, if sober, take a star off next week.
Yes. But Mortal Kombat could just be that movie where it's just better to watch it having had a drink.
If this was out in the cinema, I would 100% be doing the John Wick Chapter 3 experience.
Right. Yeah, so that's what we'll be covering next week. So thank you very much for joining me, Rebecca.
Thank you very much for hosting, Mark.
And thank you very much for joining me, Ian.
Thank you very much. There has been no additional news in the last 10 minutes.
And thank you very much for listening, people. Goodbye.
Bye. Thanks for listening to us ramble shit about football news that's a week old.
Yeah, those people nodding along going, yeah, we know.
Yeah, we know. Oh, dear.
That was fun.
Thing is, it's free.
For now.
Maybe we should start a podcast Super League.
Yeah.
Well, Apple have just announced this Podcast Plus thing, haven't they?
Oh, God.
Have they?
Yeah, like that Noel was saying in the boy chat about they're trying to cut out Patreon. It's basically that.
Wow.
The thing is, not everybody listens on Apple Podcasts. So, nah. And also Patreon, we can host all our files on there. They don't charge any hosting fees. Like, so with Libsyn at the moment, they charge $20 a month. It's basically, I eat that cost. It's absolutely fine, but I eat that cost. So after that, we get $4 a month from the Patreon, but they host all our shit for free and just take like charges off of the patron money. So that makes me feel better about that.
Yeah.
But if you went with Apple Podcasts and they're just like, no, you make it available to them through your existing provider, then it's like, well, it's not worth my while at all.
No, it does seem like Apple jumping on something years after.
Yeah, but to be fair, they've just made colourful iMacs and they look amazing. So, you know.
They do look nice.
Right, you two eat. I might download Football Manager on the Xbox.
That's a fucking dive. I have hovered over that so much on the iPad and thought, no, Mark, you've been down that route before and it's not good.
It's on Game Pass, so it's not going to cost me anything extra.
It's not going to cost you anything
That's
extra.
more the time.
It's more the time for me, and it's more that thing when you go, have I just put a suit on to play the Champions League final?
You have.
I have. I've done that.
Oh shit! I haven't got my tie dye ready for Sunday. Damn it!
Oh, you guys have got no. Hang on. What's Sunday?
Is that not the Oscars?
Oh yeah, Sunday is the Oscars. Just tie dye.
I was gonna wear tie dye to dress up.
Nice.
Yeah.
It's gonna be interesting as the Oscars. Apparently they're encouraging people not to wear masks when they're on camera.
I mean, if they're with a bubble and socially distanced, if they're not, then yeah. Sick of seeing people in fucking masks.
It kind of like, apparently they reckon it's going to get the lowest ratings for any Oscars in like a generation, and I kind of understand why, because it's like, as much as it's nice to see people win prizes, you kind of want to be done with these films that are associated with the pandemic.
Yeah, it very much feels like a close this fucking chapter.
Yeah, it's exactly that. Kind of done with all of this stuff, and it's like, let's have a week or two breather, and then welcome Academy Award nominee Spiral.
Yeah. I mean, let's face it, we're all still a little bit sore and a little bit angry that Spencer Confidential was robbed of all his nominations, aren't we?
No.
Right, on that note, I'm going to leave you, Mark. Bye. No.
Bye.
No, no.
This podcast is part of the Pod Syndicate family. For more criminally compelling shows, articles, and conversations, head to wearePodsyndicate.com.